Loaves and Fishes started in 1984 out of a closet of St. Raphael's Church. We used to hand out bags of food. We now operate out of a 17,000 square foot facility where 60% of our food is recovered, and we have a food market. Notice how I said food market and not a food pantry? We believe that people have a right to healthy food. So we no longer hand out bags of food, rather we provide healthy food, again, 60% of which is recovered. We make 100 pickups a week to provide from local retailers and farmers to bring that food back into our facility. So the key to that is, I don't know if you guys know this, but 40% I said, of the food in this country is wasted. Most of it ending up in our landfills. So our goal is to connect people with healthy food. People at risk of food insecurity, really basically what that means is they don't have access to sufficient quantities of food for well-being. More importantly, they don't have access to healthy food. So some of our key things is a few years ago, we reconfigured our food market so that we have wider aisles. We installed a dairy case, and we employ a strategy called the nudging technique, which encourages people to choose healthier items for their families. Notice we don't say you have to eat more broccoli, because who likes to be told you need to eat more broccoli, right? Because we feel every family needs to be treated with dignity and respect. The food operations are key to what we do. That food recovery, that's 60,000 pounds of food a week that's brought into our facility, sorted, gone through, and then eventually stocked on our shelves. Back just a year and a half ago, Loaves and Fishes merged with Naperville Cares. I actually came from the Cares business. That is more of supportive programs. We felt at the time both agencies were at a sort of a critical point. Naperville Cares was at a point in their history where we had a parallel path. We wanted to do more work. We wanted to connect our clients with more services. So we either had to grow significantly or we felt we had to merge. Loaves and Fishes wanted to bring more programs on board, not just food, but how do you connect people to resources? And Naperville Cares brought that. So we came together in July of 2016, and it has been an amazing transformation. So now we have the food operations where we connect people to services through food, right? So they fill out what we call the family needs inventory, and they check boxes. Do you need help with rent or emotional counseling? It's about 20 different metrics. And then they're connected to a resource specialist who then connects them to referrals throughout the county. We've gained a great deal of traction with that. 40% of the people that will fill out one of those family needs inventories will meet one-on-one, and they're connected with at least one resource. So that's sort of one entry point. And then the entry point through the Emergency Assistance Program, where we provide emergency assistance for rent, utilities, childcare. Rent and utilities are our primary source. Loaves and Fishes was always our number one referral, but the problem was we were in a small square foot facility behind Naperville North High School. Loaves and Fishes was behind Target. When the emergency is done, how do they connect? Now they come in for an appointment, we walk them in, they register for food. So this great connectivity about programs and access to healthy food and access to support programs. Oh, we're kind of running there. Because the key too is that, and the poverty numbers here, as John said, when you consider low income and people below the poverty level, it's 170,000 in DuPage County. In Naperville, that number is 15,000. So it is 9,000 people that are low income and about 6,000 people living below the poverty level. We did a mentoring training program yesterday, and one of the things when they said we talked about poverty, and someone said, what's one word you can think about poverty in Naperville? And they said hidden. Right? Because you don't really realize how much their people live in poverty and live on low income in this community. So again, our goal is healthy food and support services to move them forward. Another program we have is our car program, where we take donated vehicles and then fix them and give them to families that need transportation for work. That program, we donate about 47 cars. The only thing that blocks us in terms of cars is donations itself, right? We don't get donated cars, we can't hand the cars over. So that program is our goal is that 75% will still be working 6 months after they get a car, and last year our metrics were 88%. In terms of housing, when we provide assistance 3 months after, our expectation is that at least 80% will still be housed, and our number is 92%. The key, what we do with emergency assistance too, and places like Grace Point and other community members are very a part of that, is we leverage our funds. So last year we provided $352,000 of emergency assistance. 190-ish came from Loaves and Fishes, and the balance of it came from community partners. So the goal is, for the emergency assistance, is to maximize the dollars without duplicating services. So we're kind of a clearinghouse for all the assistance. We work very closely with Grace Point. When they're working with somebody, we provide referrals, we discern, we help them make sure the money that's being spent is kind of being spent more appropriately. So in terms of volunteering and where you can serve, and this is moving on its own, 70% of the families that we do serve are employed. The problem is the jobs they have, right? There are a lot of lower wage jobs. They're not a living wage in DuPage County. And also the housing itself here is very expensive. So there are a lot of people that are just $400 away from being homeless. And so then we encourage them to use the food market so they can stretch their money as much as possible. And this money too, so we average that it's about they get about $760 worth monthly of food, so that can help them stretch their money even further. In terms of volunteering, we have many different opportunities to volunteer. There's opportunities to volunteer on our market, there's volunteers, and that's, there's parking, sorting, distribution. That's sort of the simplest entry point for us. It's the quickest version of that. The other opportunities is sort of in registration, a little more detailed, where we're taking people in from the market, so it's a little more training, and we have some commitments of time in that. The other thing is the CARES programs. That's definitely more of a commitment of time. It's a little more skilled and more trained. We have an expectation of 6 hours a month because of all the resources that you have to connect people. That's more of our one-on-one interviewing people. And then the last program that we've just brought online is our Moving Up program. This is a program based on Bridges Out of Poverty. Our goal is to help people look at their lives and look at discerning of what's some of the barriers they have in their lives. It's a 16-week program. So we look for mentors for that program. We just had a mentor training yesterday for that program. Dick was a participant in that. And that is where you're going to walk alongside someone as they investigate their life. What are the barriers? We started that program last year. We had our first session. We learned a lot about it. And now we're improving the program, where it will still be 16 weeks. The mentors will be connected much earlier. That's hence why we've already had some training on it. There's still opportunities, though, because the program will not start until January. And then we're going to do after the 16 weeks, some deep dives on different topics. Maybe it's budgeting, counseling, other things. And then we're going to connect them with DuPage County's Family Self-Sufficiencies program. This is a program that's been going for many, many years. And they're assigned a case manager, where people then are connected to services, and they can work with up to 5 years. We feel if our clients have gone through the 16-week and invested this much time in their well-being, they will look forward and continue to move forward. Because 16 weeks does not, as John's program will indicate, will not get somebody out of overcoming all their barriers. So that's another sort of opportunity that we have here. And this is just phasing through. But again, all other programs that we have here in terms of, we have connect people to public benefits, we connect people to LIHEAP, which is a low-income heating and energy assistance program. So there's a lot of opportunities, again, from stocking shelves to connecting people to public benefits. So there's a lot of opportunities to come in the market. Everyone goes through our volunteer orientation. You have to start there, and then to create a profile, and then once that's done, they can continue working. This program, the CAR program, is an off-site program. We get people, that actually can be done at night, where we get people who want to donate a car, you connect with them, we receive the car gets repaired. So that is the one program that's kind of the most one that's done off-site. So there is opportunity to do some stuff out of your home too. So.